One book I'm just about finished with is Max Lucado's. It's called Cure for the Common Life, and it's a really great book. It talks about really doing what you love and what God, you know, built you to do. And instead of really, going out there and getting a job to maybe, satisfy uh, what people would think about you or satisfy others or doing what somebody thinks that you should do, kind of do what you love to do. And talks about how, taking stuff you like to do as a child and kind of putting that into what you want to do as an adult and really enjoy your career and do everything for the glory of God every day. My next book is The Conservative's Handbook by Phil Valentine. It's a great book. I found it just looking around in the books at Borders one day, and it's kind of, I've been reading this a little bit. It's more like a little fact book that you could look through. It's not really a reader that you would read straight through, but you could. A couple of chapters in there is Belief in God is a cornerstone of our republic. Entrepreneurs are economic lifeblood of America, which I firmly believe. Guns are good is a chapter, and I'm a big gun advocate, and I'll talk about that in some of my future series. But military strength deters aggression. You and you alone are ultimately responsible for your own destiny. And I thought those were some really good points. And my last book I'm going to talk about tonight is one of my favorites, and I love this guy. But it's titled Glenn Beck, and it's Arguing with Idiots. And it talks about how to stop small minds and big government. And it has a bunch of real good talking points on there for good Republicans and conservative people and how to argue. And some of their chapters that Glenn wrote is the Second Amendment, Ammunition to Defend Your Rights, Legal Immigration, and the chapter Americans Just Won't Right, and Universal Health Care and Why a Paper Cut May Soon Be Fatal. Those are a couple books that I'm reading right now and looking at. But future topics that I told you I would talk about tonight were, for a series that I'm thinking about doing in the future, is talking about America's military and how it's getting soft because of human rights activists, and how we really can't train soldiers to the full brutality of war, and basic training is getting really weak. And they have like stress cards now where, if you're feeling too stressed out by the drill sergeants or drill instructors for the Marines, you can kind of put your little stress card up and say, no more, I'm scared, don't talk to me, I feel like I'm being violated. And that's just wrong. Our military should never be politicized as far as that's concerned. When you're trying to train people to fight for your country, I don't want, people that will fold from somebody yelling at them to be on the front lines, fighting for my freedoms. And as a military member myself, I felt like I was trained pretty well when I went through, and as far as officer candidate school, and really puts the stress on you because they have to simulate as much as possible wartime situations, so you kind of learn how to react if you are ever sent to defend our freedoms. Another topic idea for a series that I'm going to do is America's gun liberties and how we're being robbed of them by our own government. I'm going to kind of get into that, have different parts about defending your house, and I'm going to get into laws and different court cases, the Supreme Court cases that have been talked about with that. Concealed carry rights, and how, places like Washington, D.C., good luck carrying a pistol there. They're real strict about stuff like that. And cities like New York City and other areas like that. A good series I'm going to do with the help of my mom, and I'm going to talk to a bunch of my teacher friends that I know, is the neglect of America's teachers, and how the ones teaching our future politicians and millionaire businessmen are really making minimum wage after you really count the hours they spend at school and then work they have to take home to do for their students, and lesson plans, and everything, and how this No Child Left Behind Act and all this testing, teachers really can't teach anymore. They have to really, teach the certain curriculum to meet the standard, and then they can't really branch out and really teach what they love to do, and really maybe teach these kids a better way to learn instead of, teaching a test that they have to get graded on, how teachers are graded on how well their students do on this test. So there's really no leeway with that. But I'm going to do a series on that, and I got to think of different parts for that I'm going to be doing. And also something that I really feel strongly about is how liberals are destroying the idea of marriage between a man and a woman, period. That's just how it is, and all these gay rights activists and everything that's going on is really wrong, and how people think that that's the right thing, and it's being accepted and passed on, like I talked about earlier, and I will talk about next week, to our children. It's being taught in schools how this is right when it's not, and God's view of this is it's blasphemy for homosexual behavior. And male and female are created to be married and to reproduce, and that's just the bottom line. And I'll get more into that when I start that series. But there's more topics to come. I'm still thinking, I'm still developing, I'm still new to this whole blog thing. And feel free to comment on any of my things, my posts, and let me know maybe something that you feel strongly about you might want me to discuss. And thanks for watching, and please pass this on to family members or friends that you feel will be impacted by some good conservative points. And I'm going to really base my arguments on facts, even though I might put some personal opinion in there sometimes. But as far as I'm going to be real factual about what I'm putting on here, and I really want this to explode, to really get my voice out there, and hopefully motivate other Americans to really stand up for what they believe and what they know is right. And take our direction of our country in the right direction, and end the corruption that's going on in our nation. And God bless, and be looking for my next video. I'm going to start, I'll probably do another one in between now and when I first start part 1 of my childhood and liberalism part about Hollywood, but I'll probably do one in between now and there before the weekend. But hope to see you soon, and thanks for watching.